At this point in his career, I think Future has earned the nickname the collaborative mixtape captain. He's got one with Drake, he's got one with Juice WRLD, with Young Thug, and now most recently he's even got one with Lil Uzi Vert. And I'll tell you, one artist he does not have a collab album with yet, and this should happen, is Chief Keef. When you think about it, these two artists are probably most well known for their turned up, lit tracks like Commas by Future, Finito by Keef, songs that get nightclubs going, that get frat parties going, but also, and this is important, both are very well versed in the deep emotional cuts as well, especially Future. When you go back and listen to his Monster mixtape, he's got 3 or 4 tracks on there that really stab you in the heart. Future has been through a lot in his career. His sound engineer Seth Firkins passed away unexpectedly. His DJ Esco, got locked up in Dubai for 56 nights, and that inspired the 56 Nights mixtape we all know and love. On the other hand, you got Keef, who, so many people who he grew up with are no longer here. Trey Savage, Fredo Santana, Capo, Big Glow, guys who he grew up with, who passed away, and you hear these mentions to them in his songs, especially, he's got a track called Chirac where, he talks a lot about the Chicago gun violence. So Keef, him and Future probably have more in common than people realize. They do have a track together called Who Would Have Thought, which leaked, online a few years ago. It's a very short track, Keef featuring Future on the hook. It's a very, it's a good track, a very, loud banger track. So if we could get a whole mixtape with some of those, plus, some of the more deep emotional cuts, what better match than that? And on the production side, you gotta have both Zaytoven, who, of course, Future dropped Beast Mode and Beast Mode 2 with, they go way back. Zaytoven, just a master of the piano who really brings the best out of Future. Plus, he's actually got 2 collab mixtapes with Keef as well, Glowtoven as well as Camp Glowtiggy. So, he's got to be a featured producer on there, as well as Mike Will Made It, who, produced some of Future's earliest hits, as well as, has some dope tracks with Keef. People forget he was on Finally Rich, Keef's debut album. And now, it was just announced recently that he's actually got a whole collaborative album coming out with Keef, which should be here in the near future. So why not have Zaytoven and Mike Will Made It, 2 producers who really bring the best out of Future and Keef with their instrumentals, have them be contributors on this, hypothetical album between Future and Keef, which, fingers crossed, hopefully it does happen. I love to see it. Let me know in the comments, your thoughts on that possible collaboration as well.